Alright, what's good, y'all? My name is Ferris Abanil, and in this video, I'm going to be explaining why you have brain fog and what to do about it. So I'm going to run you through like the symptoms of brain fog and what it actually means to have it, what to do if you have it. Obviously, I'm going to run you through the exact protocol and exercise I run my one-on-one clients through to find the direction, overcome brain fog for good, and actually feel focused. So let's go ahead and jump in my MacBook. All right, what's good, y'all? So today I am breaking down why you have brain fog and what exactly to do about it. So I'm going to essentially take you from where I was, this confused young man who honestly had no sense of direction, no sense of clarity, no sense of productiveness, felt lazy all the time, felt like I had nothing going for myself in my life, to a point where I feel calm. I feel present in the moment. I feel grateful for every single, the tiniest things in my life, such as the exact floor that I'm on in my building right now. Like, I'm very grateful for that. The people I have around me, able to very much focus on my goals and feel like every single day I'm just getting 1% better, no matter what, no matter how low my day gets. So hopefully I'll give you some clarity during this video. It's not a short hit of motivation. It's more of a educational. And if you actually care to understand what brain fog is and understand how to overcome it, then you would actually cut out all distractions in your environment right now, narrow in and focus on this video and take notes. And of course, execute on what I got to say. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So let's first define what brain fog actually is. Brain fog comes from lack of clarity on what to focus on, leaving you unproductive, lazy, and sometimes derealized. What I mean by derealized, and you might have experienced this, you might not, whether it's subconsciously or consciously, but you literally feel detached from the moment in a mental aspect. For example, when I was in college, I vividly remember just my body was drifting to each class. I never felt in the moment. I never felt present during each class. And it was like this, the best word to describe it is a derealized feeling. So that's like one of the symptoms of brain fog. And let's go ahead and define also what it means not to have brain fog, what it means to have clarity and focus. So, inversely, having clarity is to take perceived action, meaning that you understand what it is you're actively doing, and why it matters to you, why you're doing it. Therefore, it leaves you focused, present in the moment, and productive. So, what is the problem? The problem is that you lack clarity from lack of direction. So understand, I'm about to break this down in an example that's going to make a lot of sense to you in just a second, but understand that the fogginess comes from you not actually understanding where it is you're going to. And I used to be the same exact way, so that's okay. So let's go ahead and break this down in a very visual and very concrete example you can understand. So let me explain what it means to lack direction. So let's say your goal is to be successful. If being successful is your goal, then your brain struggles to grasp what success means to you in a visceral way. Let me describe what visceral means. In a visceral way, and I want to preface this by saying that graphic design is not a strong suit of mine, but again, this example is going to make sense to you. So, see this picture right here, but let's suppose this man right here, this stick figure, is on a street and asking for a ride to go somewhere. So the man's saying, "Hey, I need a ride to go somewhere I can be successful, rich, and happy." It seems like the ideal picture that, okay, I want to be successful. Who wouldn't want to do that, right? But the cars are like, bro, what? If you want to ride, just tell me where you want to go to. And he's saying, like, bro, just take me where I can be successful, rich, and happy. Like, these cars don't understand where the fuck that is. That's not a address. That doesn't have a city. That doesn't have a state, a country even. So because this man doesn't know where exactly he's going, the cars leave him stranded because happy is not a physical place to drive to. So in return, he is left feeling foggy because his intuition is telling him he really wants these things, but his mind fails to define them viscerally. I hope you see how that's making sense. So let's look at an example for the same situation, but this time the man has clarity and focus. I want you to pay attention and see if you can notice the difference between the first example and the second one. So, same example, same shitty graphic design, but I really want to drive this home. So, This time, the man is saying that my 8-year-old daughter is locked outside the house and cannot get in. I need to make sure she's safe. I live at 254 Northwest 8th Street, Miami, Florida. No, that's not actually where I live. I just picked like a random ass street. And you see inversely, like, this is the difference I want you to notice. He has a reason to go to the place. He has a very, very, very specific place he's trying to go to. He defines the address, the city, the state, the country. I promise this makes sense. I promise this is congruent towards you understanding how to overcome brain fog. Just stay with me. And inversely, instead of the car saying, like, bro, what are you doing? They're saying, okay, I'm 8 minutes away. I can take you. And even if the cars weren't willing to give him that drive, but likely if he expressed to the people driving the car that there's urgency, there's a reason why, and they even want to make sure that his daughter is safe, they're probably going to give him a ride. But inversely, the man would even walk to that place. He'd pay like $100 for an Uber just because the urgency is so high, just because the pain is so high. And I want to, really drill home something right here is that men will often run far more from pain than they ever will from pleasure. Understand that. In the first example, it's I want to be successful, rich, and happy. I want to go somewhere where I can do that. But the first example. The second example is a pain. It's not likely that his daughter is going to be in harm just being locked outside the house. But I mean, depending where he lives, I think this street that I just randomly picked is actually not really in a good location. So maybe he wants to get home. But the point is that he has a very, very concrete and urgent reason to get home, and he knows where home is. So you see the difference now because the man knows where he is going and why he needs to go now. He is able to focus and have clarity behind what he needs to do, which is why some of you don't even understand the country you want to go to, and that's not even including why you want to go there in the first place. So let me help you. Let me help you understand this and give you some clarity. So, first, I need you to understand that I cannot be the one picking your direction. If you understand at this point in this video that you lack a definite and concrete and quantifiable destination you want to get to, I can't be the one to pick that for you because then it would be a borrowed goal, meaning it's inauthentic to you. I'll give you an example of this. If you're scrolling on your phone, which you likely do if you have brain fog, and you see a Lamborghini on your IG Reels, and you're like, bro, I want a Lambo. I want a Lambo. That'd be pretty cool. Pretty cool. That's not authentic to you, bro. You're just saying that because you saw it online. That doesn't actually have any significance and value to you. And also, like I was saying, that you're going to run far more from pain than you ever will pleasure. What would it mean to you if you weren't able to get that Lamborghini? Not much, because it's not congruent towards who you want to be. But if you paint the picture that if I like instead of just chasing materialistic ideas, materialistic goals, instead paint the picture that this is a reward I will give myself of being a Lamborghini for crossing a $250,000 a month with my business, and this will be the achievement and reward I give to myself at that mark. And what would it mean for me to achieve 250,000 a month with my business is to provide, you know, extended financial freedom for my not just me, but my family who I would really want to help out. I feel called to help them out. I know it's my duty as a man to help them out. Like paint this like pull back the layers and not just see the goal as surface level, but pull it back and understand what would it actually mean in your life if you didn't have this goal. That's when you can really focus on what you have to get done. So this direction will not come to you overnight, but when you find it, your intuition will let you know, because when you think about it or do it, it'll feel good to you. What I mean by this is if you have a lifelong goal of being a veteran, right? A veteran, I don't know if I said that someone who cares for animals. I don't know if I said that right, but someone who cares for animals, right? That occupation. And if it doesn't feel good if you have like a pet at home and you're like you make sure their well-being is always top priority, even though that some people overlook their animals priority because they don't see them as human. And I mean they're not human, but you can't treat them any other way. Like you still need to make sure they're doing good, they have good well-being, and you see it differently than anyone else, and it feels good to you when you give your time and attention away from the things like that seem important to you right there and then, but you put your time and attention towards helping out that animal. Again, just random example. But the point is that you feel good when you put your time, focus, attention, money into doing something. And in return, your intuition is telling you, like, hey, this is something that you're actually interested and passionate about. So that's what I mean by you will find your passion eventually. Just don't rush it. But genuinely, like if you have no clue where you want to go, develop yourself. And I would highly recommend you to develop yourself first rather than blindly walking towards a passion. Because honestly, as you begin to develop yourself, you will start to understand that, okay, this actually might be my passion. You might even find like your passion inside of the gym, or like, that revolves around fitness, something like that. So I think it's like mandatory, especially as a young man in this world, to develop yourself first. And I'll pull back the layers a little bit on this. So why? Because we all want to achieve something great. And something great, like again, like that vague concept of achieving something great will require a mind and body great enough to handle it. It only makes sense. So commit yourself to something. Run a marathon, compete for a bodybuilding show, etc. And I literally like I'm not gonna bullshit you. Like I did the same exact thing myself. I felt completely lost, but I committed myself to something. Not just a marathon, but I have a comparison of like my pacing compared to a 21 miles to a 26-mile marathon. And like you see, like I improved over time. I was focused over time. Like I was literally on, I don't know who fucking heard me, bro. Like running 21 miles at 4 a.m. I was on something different that day, bro. But like I did this myself. And I'm gonna tell you something too. Like I hate running. I honestly hate running. I really don't like it. I don't find much of it enjoyable except like just working on my own body, working on myself, and being able to explore a little bit. I got to explore a lot of Miami when I moved here, just because I was running a lot. But it's not something that I really found passionate. But what I did find passionate about running and committing myself to something was that commitment that I had, that drive that I had every single day, that focus that I had whenever I planned out my runs for the week. Whenever I knew that, I literally treated it like the NBA finals. I treated every single run like it was game 7 of the NBA finals. Like that's just how it was in my head. And that was such a great feeling. Such a great feeling. I just committed myself to something, told myself I was going to run a sub 4 marathon. And again, I've documented all of this on my YouTube. So watch the videos if you haven't. I literally documented everything that I've done. But I signed up for a marathon in 2024, and I didn't even know that I'd be living in a different state when I signed up, but I moved to a different state. And I will always say that you can always change the plan, but you can never change the goal. And that's what I did. I never changed the goal. I moved to a different state, a different city, and the goal was still the same, but I changed up the plan a little bit. So the point is, when you commit yourself to something, like I didn't commit to a bodybuilding show, but like you can see what my physique was before, like this unconfident man, had no focus, had no discipline. Emphasis on the discipline is what really my biggest ROI from going to the gym was discipline. I was able to build discipline that translated to everything. Everything, because I don't want to sugarcoat anything you do. There will never be a point in time in your life where you have no brain fog and you feel like you can wake up off the first alarm, instantly snap into your day, instantly go immediately to the gym. Like you're never going to have the motivation to do that. It's never going to be constant. Motivation is never going to be constant. And if you think that motivation is just going to be constant, you got to reframe your mind. The discipline is what will carry you throughout everything that you don't want to do. And half the time, I don't feel like doing the things that I do on a daily basis. I really don't. I really don't. But it's the fact that I built my discipline after going to the gym, like this picture right here. Like the physique is literally just a representation of how my mental fortitude was, that nothing could break me down because I built myself up internally. My inside, I built it up. And using what I built in my inside, I get to affect the outside world doing the same exact thing. So I had to first focus on myself so I could impact other things in a greater way. So if you think that you are ambitious, you're young, and you want to make money right now, like, no, I'm telling you, bro, the best possible thing you can do is delay your gratification a little bit, focus on yourself, and build the man who can run that successful business. So elaborating a little bit further, Prove to yourself that you can commit to a diet, gym split, and willing to make sacrifices for this goal. This will translate to the business and passion when you actually discover it. And I'm telling you, bro, there are so many sacrifices that you have to make along this journey. Just within going to the gym, like off the top of my head, what it looked like for me is I missed countless months of dinners with my family. Like I literally like I was living with my parents at the time in 2024 when I dropped out of college, and it was like the kind of like the worst time period for me because I just didn't know what I was doing in my life. And that's when I just like went fully into myself, just committed myself to a diet, a gym split, and I was just going to the gym religiously every single day. And every single night, like my mom worked from home, my dad he came back from work, and I would just miss out on those dinners. Like, I mean, sometimes we'd match our schedules up, and like, because my mom and dad, the one thing that I love about them is that they always eat dinner together no matter what, and I love that. But like, there were some times where I just ate to myself. I just sat and ate by myself because I was just eating my own meals. Like, I don't know. Like, it was just something that I had to do, and I missed countless things. And if I knew that the days where damn, yeah, if I knew that the days where I could eat those meals with them were coming to an end with me moving to Miami, I would have treated it a lot different. But I was arrogant at the time, and I've learned a lot since. But on a different note, I didn't mean to get like down, but that's just saying like there's so many sacrifices along the way that you don't even know right now, but you're gonna have to sacrifice a lot, and that's a good thing. So, because I actually care about you, I don't want to leave you completely empty-handed. And this is the exercise that is going to be a really good ROI if you actually give a fuck and you actually go through with this. So, I'm going to give you the exact exercise that I run my one-on-one elite clients through, and this is something that my clients literally pay thousands of dollars for. And this allows them to create that visceral image of what they actually want to do with their life. So once they have this image, they will run their daily actions through something called a congruency lens of mind, which basically means that you understand if you are. Let me break this down without reading this verbatim because I think I misspelled it. But basically, you understand that the actions you're taking on a daily basis are either congruent with who you want to be, this image that you're about to create together, or it's moving you further away from that. And that's what I call congruency lens. Because if you understand exactly where you want to get to and your brain can grasp a visceral image of who this person you're trying to be, then your brain and your subconscious is going to let you know, like, bro, what are you doing? Like, this is not how you should be acting. Like, you're going to have something to compare it to. So that's what I want you to do, is have something to compare your daily actions to. So do this with me while you're like, this is going to take like an extra 30 or 45 minutes. It's not going to be perfect the first time, but just go through with it. And literally, like, if you haven't taken notes already, like, take notes and actually do this exercise, because there's no point of just wasting your time and watching this video without actually executing. So write this down in pen and paper first, and then translate it to something somewhere very accessible. Throw it on your Google Calendar to read it before workouts, or read it before your meal, or read it before school or your work. So the exercise is that you will create a name one and two characters, because both of these versions of you can come to reality if you choose through your actions. And make a reminder to read this to yourself again, like I was saying, before workouts, before meals, to recenter and reprogram your subconscious mind. It's not for motivation. It's not for, a short hit of like, bro, I need the Lamborghini. No, bro, like you're reprogramming your subconscious mind. You are making this visceral image of your future self so solid that like you have no other choice but to conform to this congruency. So let me break it down. And again, I want you to be reminded of what I was saying about borrowed goals. So when you see me like talk about my own stuff that I actually poured my heart and soul out into to like create my visceral image, then don't copy me verbatim. And I know like there's a lot of kids, a lot of guys who want a 50,000 a month business, but it's different. And then I just gave you like somewhat of a SLP format for this is not exactly 10 things, but just so you can get an idea of like what you should kind of create. But four materialistic things, four characteristics, and one purpose. So I run my own business that brings me 50,000 a month. I get to buy and drive nice cars. I have the ability to live whenever and wherever I please because the location and finances do not restrain me. I'm able to provide for the ones around me and they benefit off being in relations with me. I enjoy pushing myself physically and mentally to new highs through training because I understand this projects onto my business and personal life. I do not tolerate any food that is processed or incongruent towards my physical and mental standard. In every interaction I have, I leave a positive impact with the intention to help people, help the other person. I seek discomfort and I find gratification in things that take time and require dedication. I am 200 pounds lean, 12%, and my physique is a representation of my delayed gratification and discipline. I will always remain committed and consistent no matter what. I'm constantly leveling up 1% daily. I'm self conscious and aware of my mental health. Just reaffirming where I want to be at. That is the first version of me, and to define what the second version of me looks like. And again, these realities are so possible depending on how I act from this point on. Ferris too. I give up when motivation fades. I struggle with porn, alcohol, and masturbation. I depend on others to provide for me financially and my well being. I give into whatever food is around me and can't control it. I hate exercise and enjoy spending my time consuming artificial dopamine. I give up when things get hard. I seek instant gratification. I don't own my car. I look for things that make me feel comfortable. I live in shared spaces because I can't afford rent. Again, very specific things to me, so don't take it verbatim, but again, just a little bit of inspiration that you need to get this started, get an idea of what it means to create your identity one and two. And again, put this somewhere where you can see it, write it down on pen and paper first, and then put it where you can see it, put it on your Google Calendar as a reminder. Read it before workouts, before meals, before school, before work. And yeah, I promise you, this is going to give you so much more clarity, so much more purpose, drive, intention, and make you so much more passionate about the little things in life and give you a reason to be present in the moment. So I appreciate you watching up to this point. Last thing I want to leave you with, if you want to get up on a one-on-one call with me to talk further about this, how we can implement the specific systems to bring you to this desired state right here, there's a book, a call link in the description of this video. So I will speak to you then. But again, I appreciate all of y'all watching and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.